everyone. Welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I am your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are joining me live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7 in beautiful New Orleans. Today, I'm really excited about the guest that we're having on today. I'm so grateful that she's taking the time and sharing her time and energy with us today. She is a good witch. She is a psychic medium. She is an author. She's a teacher. She's a mentor. She is a ray of sunshine and positivity. Please welcome to Spirit Switchboard, Patti Negri.
Hey, that is so sweet. Thank you, Carolyn. Like, wow.
It's true, though.
Oh, thanks.
You really do work from a place of positivity and looking at, shifting those energies and walking that talk.
Thank you. Thank you. It is much funner to live that way. It truly is, because we create our reality, right? Why not create a good one?
Exactly. And it does come back. How, our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions, and the level that we're working out of comes back at us. So, what do you want to create? And we're in constant co-creation. So.
Yep. And I like that the world seems to be figuring that out. I mean, even following the silliness of social media and everything, it's like, some of it's a little out there, but basically I'm going, wow, like it's taking a turn for positivity. It's taking a turn for manifestation. It's taking people about taking their power back. And I couldn't be happier.
Yeah. It's
the left of center. I mean, like out there, it's yes, manifest it all.
Yeah. And that's what we're needing. The world needs a little more compassion right now, for sure.
Yes.
We just have a few people popping in on the chat to say hello. Hi, Lorraine. Thank you for being here. Michelle. Happy Friday, Heather, to you too. Oh, yeah. Yes. Hi, Joanna. Thank you for being here with us. Hi, Jody and Kathy. Thanks for being here. Patti, one of the things that I wanted to start with, I had the same, no, I shouldn't say I had a same experience, but I had similar experience in being able to connect with the other side from a very young age. You dove right in doing seances way before I did, but that, you were very young. Like what sort of advice or encouragement would you give to parents who do have young children who want to explore the paranormal or talking about having, their children are having those sort of experiences? What kind of advice or encouragement would you give those parents?
And that it's encouragement. I was lucky because I do think kids have the gift. I do think kids, all those imaginary friends are not always imaginary, and some are, and that is great. We need to develop that right brain imagination. That's what leads us into our gift of intuition and psychic ability and even mediumship. But it's not just who's your imaginary friend. It's like, ask them about it, inspire them. It just gets so taught out of us in our everything is so left brain logic. We put all of our thought process and reading, writing, and arithmetic, which we need. But it's like, even when they took art out of schools, their reading, writing, and arithmetic scores went down. We have to have that creative. And so if your kids have special friends or see spirits, or I see grandma in the corner, believe them, ask them about it. Let them know it's not scary. I completely thought that everybody could see spirits. I just thought it was completely normal. And that wasn't taught out of me. My mom, and most of you go, yeah, grandma did that too. Who are you talking to? Yeah, grandma did that too. Okay, well, yeah, this is my friend over here. And then literally I was kind of obsessed with talking to the dead. And it was never, ever in a dark or morbid way. Never. I mean, most spirits are good. I mean, most people are good. Most spirits are good. TV, and I'm a culprit because all that I do, nobody wants to go to where the happy ghosts are hanging from the chandelier because they got married there or they got an award there. You go to the prison, you go to the insane asylum. But as a rule, most people are good. Most spirits are good. Yeah. So I was obsessed with it. So I literally did do my first seance. I was somewhere between 7 and 8. I just so wanted to talk to them. didn't really know what a seance was. But I went into my little hallway where there were no windows, and I stuffed towels under the doors, and realized I didn't know any dead people. So I'm like, Marilyn Monroe and any movie star I heard of at 7 or
Yeah.
8. And the room, the little windowless, lightless room filled with orbs and lights and shadows and spirits. And thus it began.
I think
How
that's
that
great.
we can control this. We can communicate with this, and studied it ever since.
And I just want to touch on this really quickly too, that the celebrity spirits are really no different than somebody else's spirit. Like it makes no difference.
No,
I mean,
no.
from my own experience in doing that, like even clients, regardless of whoever they are in the station that they come from, it's all the same. Not the same stories. I mean, everybody's stories are individual, but the same stories of love is unconditional and forgiveness, and there it doesn't
Yeah.
feel separated in any way. Does that make sense? Do you want to share, your perspective or experience about that?
Yeah, completely. And celebrities, whether dead or living, are just the same. Same insecurity, same fear.
Yeah.
I mean, I work in the center of Hollywood. So my clientele is very much a celebrity clientele, and they're no different than you or me.
No.
I mean, maybe the world knows who they are, but honestly, they have the same issues, the same absolutely everything. So same in the
Yeah.
spirit world. So
Yeah, they feel all the same feelings.
they feel other. My funniest one that a spirit that got really mad. I think it was Charlton Heston, because he came from a different day. I was doing a TV show, a reality show. It was actually a cooking reality show, and so the food was really the star. But I was doing a seance, and they wanted to bring back Marilyn
Oh,
Monroe and Elvis
was that
Presley.
like Gordon Ramsay?
It was way before I did Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, yeah.
MasterChef season 3, but this was before
Fun.
that. And for a girl who can't cook, but I'm a good witch. But this was a cooking show where they wanted to bring back Marilyn Monroe and Elvis, Frank Sinatra, and Charlton Heston. And so and then I made them use certain ingredients in the food in these celebrities' favorite food. But when Charlton Heston came in, he was so offended. And it took me a while to figure out why. He lived in a day where movie stars were movie stars. You didn't do TV. TV stars were TV stars. You were not movie stars. I mean, reality, the bottom of the barrel didn't even exist. So all of a sudden, I am calling Mr. Movie Star Charlton Heston to do something cooking show on reality television. He was not amused. It was hysterical.
That's funny.
Hysterical.
That's so funny.
Like, I am a movie star. You're not going to cook my famous osobuco or whatever it was.
Did he chill out after? I mean, no way.
No, he left. He left the building. It was like, okay. You're the same. People are the same. When we die, we're not suddenly enlightened. We're not suddenly all knowing. I do believe almost all spirits do have a higher perspective, though. Literally, like maybe higher because you're in the heavens looking down. So a lot of the petty stuff, the little stuff that we think is so important in this life, you see the big picture, and it's not okay. It's okay that you didn't make my funeral. It's okay that last phone call, I was grumpy.
Yeah.
They don't care they get the higher perspective. But other than that, they're the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's us, well, the ego in that we have here, right? And we lose that, hopefully. Heal that on the other side, right? For some, for sure. Could you talk about your perspective about, or share with people the difference between psychic and medium? Can they be like, I know that I'm both, you're both, but not everyone understands that there is a difference between the two and how that information is felt and received and how we express it and process it.
Yeah. So, again, I think all of us has in it varying degrees. Like everybody can take piano lessons and everybody can learn to play the piano. Not everybody is going to be a virtuoso at it, but I do believe it's in all of us. To be psychic, the way I understand it now, to means you can see past. You could see into past, present, future. You could see I don't say you're going to be married 3 times because my witch side over. There's a chance you could be married 3 times, but if you want to avoid the first 2, here's how. But
Yeah.
again, we see pathways. We see
The power panties.
Power panties. Power panties for everybody. I've been doing it for 20 years, literally with celebrities, and to launch it this past year, it's like everybody gets to have them now because they work.
I'm so sorry that I'm a squirrel on Red Bull and went sideways with that, but I just think it just makes me laugh, and it's so true. But we'll get to that in a second. You can we'll just keep going with.
So anyway, to be a psychic is somebody. It's like I see pathways, probabilities. Right. I can see into past. To be a medium means you can communicate directly with spirits on the other side. Now, in my experience, not all psychics have developed their mediumship, but mediums are all psychic. Again, I think everybody can develop. Everybody. Hi, Lorraine. That's funny. I heard it before I got married. Me too. I'm on number 3. Had I been my own psychic, that first psychic who said, you're going to be married 3 times when I was like 9 years old. It's like, I live into it. You live into it. But neither here nor there. But that's funny, Lorraine. So yeah, a medium, we can speak to the other side. Again, I do think it's something we can develop, but they are very different gifts. And I teach people in my school who are you talking to? What is your communication? I think there is a spirit language, and everybody's is a little different. Some people clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, claircognizant, all those things. But more than that, visuals, sigils, ways of working. You have to learn your language of spirit. Oh, when my left shoulder goes like this, that means this. When, and the more detailed we can have our personal language, the more we're going to communicate on all areas.
And that's the key, personal language. It doesn't have to be the same as everybody else's or what was written in a book, because you're individual. So it can be different, and having fun exploring to find out what your spirit language is, right?
Yeah. So, and it's great. And your truth is worth over any truth. Like, okay. The taking out of me, taking into like spell working, or red candle is passion, a pink candle is love, a green candle is money or healing. But if for you, a purple candle is what love is, then a purple candle is love. Again, that's your languaging. Yes, there is truth to the red creates passion and the pink creates it, but it's learning your truth is where you're going to get your most deepest and accurate truths.
Right. So how important is intention?
Everything is intention. Without intention, there's nothing. Everything, your intention. Again,
and explain. I don't think people really understand what intention is either. Like for some people do not understand intention. I think that it's a word, but they don't understand the energy behind it.
It is everything. Okay, I would say intention. My intention is to get a job. My intention is to talk to spirit. It's your desire. It's your will, and it's how you focus it in.
Yeah,
it's that laser beam focus. If you're just going, all right, I'm doing spell or magic or whatever you're doing, and you're not. There's no intention. There's no faith. There's no belief. I am a big believer in that mind, body, spirit that 20,000 books are written about. Even my book. We know we will never, ever, ever surpass our own belief system. We can't. We just can't. If you don't think you can climb that mountain, you're not going to climb it. If you think you can, those are the people who do. My body, you got to get off the couch, take action. Spirit, that's the part that people don't get. That seems less tangible, but that's the battery that makes it happen. That's literally whether you do it through faith, go to church or temple and pray, or you do it through manifestations and affirmations and vision boards, new age, or you do it candles and herbs and oils. You could look at everything that you've accomplished. Anybody of you out there can accomplish that you've accomplished. You've believed you could do it and that you deserved it. You've gotten off the couch and taken action, and then you had some spirit or magic or faith behind it. The stuff and that's intention. And the stuff you haven't quite got to, 1 or 2 of those things need tweaking, either your thought pattern or belief in it, or that you're not taking enough action, or you don't have the battery that makes it go. You switch them and you get them. I've broke the odds beyond lottery wins. All those things I do are to test it. The WipeOut, the Master Chef, the America's Got Talent. It's like, what is something I absolutely have no business doing? I'm going to do it.
But some of that is destined, and then we have free will as well too. Like I used to do hair, and I tried doing and I was very good at as a hairstylist, but doing all those different things. But doing this job as a medium and as a career, it just kept coming up in my face. There was no option except to step into it and just allow it and move with it. So when you start flowing with what you need to do, you understand intention and free will and energies, and it's magical.
Yeah. No, believe me, this is not what I would figure I was going to be doing.
You had a lot of hats. Can you share some of that journey with us?
I wear a lot of hats now, besides my own personal career, besides still being on Ghost Adventures a couple episodes a season. I'm with Ghost Finders now. I'm one of the 3 owners of Paraflix Network, Paraflix streaming service, all paranormal. I am one of the 3 owners of University Magickus, an online, very affordable spirituality and magic school. I tour constantly, about 30 trips this year. I'm getting ready to go to Arizona, then Romania, and then Pennsylvania, and this all within the next month, and then Texas. And then I sell power panties.
No, and I tell people about the power panties because
hold on. Wait, I'm not going anywhere, but I'm going anywhere.
It's all good.
Power panties. Okay, going in. It works into the mind, body, spirit. Since for 20 years now, again, I work with celebrities, and it's like, okay, you've got this very special audition or whatever you're doing, or a politician, and you're feeling weak, or you're not feeling whatever. I want you to wear this. I mean, think about the most intimate part of what you wear. It's your panties, and it's down there on those base chakras, right? Intimate. People don't have to see them, or they can see them. And I'm like, okay, picture this. I work with sigils a lot.
I love sigils. I work with sigils all the time too.
Color, and I work with intent. So I would be with these celebrities going, okay, picture get this color panty. Picture this sigil. I draw out a sigil. I create a sigil for them. Now here's a little 30-second spell, breath, intent, all intent. Okay, with this, and then do it. And now that we have print on demand, now if you need protection,
love it.
That is my favorite sigil, Helm of Awe. It's a rune. It's that 8 cross. I don't go into scary, scary haunted places without it. Maybe you're looking for love. Write it on your butt. There's a love sigil right there. Maybe you're looking for more power. We have men's, and these sigils, there's magic in the sigil.
Are you feeling this? Are you getting this? Are you paying attention? Power panties.
Be your witch. If anybody wants it, you can go to pattinegri.com, and just for you guys, 25. If you say code Patti, Patti, 25% off. It's the cheapest success. You want success. We've got money panties. But I also funny pastor line. But these work. Somebody just bought like one pair, and they had such good luck with them. They bought $1,000 worth. That is a lot of underwear for because they're not expensive. And with code Patti, 25% off. She bought them for herself, for her adult son, her adult daughter, and they are covered. Ha!
So there's so much that I want to say about this. So the first time I saw you talking about the power panties, I just about busted gut laughing because it just was like the most perfect thing ever. And my grandma, she was like 4'11", tiny little Scottish lady. And she used to say all the time, if you were having a bad day, make sure that you had pretty panties on and you put lipstick on. And that's what she was always like, the pretty panties and the lipstick are going to shift your mood. So make sure. And so that was always ingrained. So when I had my daughter, she's 27 now, but it's always like the pretty panties. And I never thought about like putting the sigil on them or any of that. So pattinegri.com. Grab your code.
Grab your panties.
Grab the panties.
And they have couples do it a lot. We have sexy ones, we have dragon ones, we have passion. Who doesn't
dragon ones? Bring it on.
Dragon. Yeah.
That's fun. And I think, it's kind of a really fun way to introduce people to magic and intention as well too. And when you start explaining to people that magic is very natural and it's all around us all the time, and it gives, instead of being swirly in the Chihuahua brain, you're giving it a direct focus. You move that to the jar or the bowl or the cauldron or whatever vessel, the panties.
Exactly.
Give it a focus.
And it works into that mind, body, spirit. Mind, okay, I'm putting on wealth across my backside. I'm seeing it. I'm the color. It all works. Mind, body, literally on your body, and the spirit is the magic that came with the panties and you put into it. It's the cheapest thing that you put on your body. It's cheaper than your pants and your blouse. That's great. Go Lorraine. She's adorable. Okay.
She's actually directing a play that's opening tonight in Shelby. Lorraine, let's do a shout out for you really quick, because I'm really sorry I don't have it right in front of me to remember, but she's directing a play that's opening tonight. My friend Joni has a podcast with the Rift Nation called Astrology Meets True Crime. She's brilliant. She says I have to have some. She loves sigils. She wants Libra ones. She said get some Libra ones.
I have not made astrology panties yet. I should. I'm a Libra too. Oh, that
Selby. So it's in the theaters in Selby, and the play opens tonight. And I don't know, Lorraine, are there tickets left? If there aren't, if you do have tickets tonight, you get to meet the cast after, meet the cast after the show, which will be brilliant. Keith and yeah. Is that a Libra thing? Joni's saying with sparkles, sigil sparkly panties.
We like sparkles. We do. We like sparkles. Yeah.
Okay, folks, there are a few tickets left if you want to check it out. I know when I've had clients and I wanted to move them to something a little more magical, those visual cues are really helpful, and sigils seem to be such a nice introduction as well too, right? Encouraging people to open up, and if you use it, or if you don't use it, you lose it, your intuition, right?
Yeah, so you got to use it.
So Keith Ottersberg and Joni have a show on every second Monday on the Rift Nation. Keith, the Otter's Den, talking about astrology and what's happening in the United States on an astrological level. So you can check them out. I think it's on Mondays, and I think that Astrology Meets True Crime has moved to Wednesday evenings, if I've got that correct as well too. The book that you have, if people wanted to check that out and have more tips and tools, Old World Magic for the Modern World. Yes.
Yeah, you can get it on Amazon, ebook or audiobook, $6, print $12. And it's super life hacks, easy life hacks to do. It's it's great to meditate for an hour, but I have 30 seconds to pull it together as a rule. So here's 30 seconds using elemental. You don't have to be a witch. You don't have to be a psychic. It's just love, kitchen, this, talking to dead people, just this simple little, you'd read the whole thing in a night or two, but it's like a little handbook. I'm getting ready to write my next one on it. But yeah,
I think it's brilliant. And I mean, everyone is so busy now that if it takes much time, nobody wants to do it. So those short, quick and easy, and it is anyway. And I think it's encouraging people to understand that it's like a 24/7 flow once you get there.
Yeah, it is. And make it part of your life, not what you do. I do spellcrafting, or I do magic, or I manifest. It's like, make it your day-to-day. When you're brushing your teeth, have that be a magical thing. In your shower, flushing your toilet, it's a great big water cauldron you could release just with going to the bathroom. I mean, that's what the book is.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's
magic.
It is. Well, and that's what I say. Every moment should be magic. Yeah. Wake up like it's Christmas if you celebrate. Wake up with that sense of wonder every day. What's going to happen today? Yeah. Joni is saying love easy. Oh my God, she's such a Libra.
Libra.
We love our Libras. So
The book on Amazon. You can get to from PattiNegri.com. You can get to my book on Amazon, but order it on Amazon, audio or print. It comes fast. I mean, I'm at a lot of places you could buy it. I'm going to be in Arizona next weekend at the Old Globe Paracon. Then I'm going to be in Romania. Then I'm going to be at Penhurst Paracon in May, and then Louisville, Dallas area in May, and then like 3 other places in June. But it's fastest just go to Amazon unless you want to come see me at these places.
What are you doing in? Oh, I know what you're doing in Romania, but can you let other people know that what you're doing?
I can. Come play. It's a witch and vampire magical tour of Romania with my best friend, Father Sebastian, King of the Vampire. So he hates me to say that. He's a good vampire. Like, I'm a good witch, nothing negative. I first met him years ago on Ghost Adventures, on an episode of Ghost Adventures, and we just hit it off as friends.
When he passed out with Bela Lugosi's mirror.
He was passed out with Bela Lugosi's mirror on the floor, passed out. And he offered to fang me. I'm like, well, you're cute and all that, but I'm married and I don't like vampires. I'm like, I like witches, but my idea of vampires, I don't like psychic vampires. I started reading his books. I'm like, oh, you're just exactly like me. It's elemental magic. It's a little bit ceremonial. What you embrace and drink in is life. And that's it. It's not about blood and all that. So what I say the biggest difference in vampire magic in our particular clan and magic is in my witchy world, our cloaks are made of organic cotton or Stevie Nicks lace. In my vampire world, they're black velvet with a red lining. That's the difference.
It's sensuality. It's still sensuality, just presented differently.
Yeah, exactly. It's magic and sensuality put differently. So we are doing, and we've got the big blessing of Dacre Stoker, who is just on my show, The Witching Hour, this week. If anybody, every place we're going, from Bram Castle into the real other Vlad's Castle into the Baku whatever forest.
Are you going to the Baku forest?
Yes, we are. I'm doing ritual there, magic there, positive.
I will do all that. I can't wait to hear how that turns out.
If we ever seen again. No, it's going to be fun. Yeah, no, I am insanely excited. And then we're coming back to do a little event in Paris. So, yeah.
Because I know friends that have been there and said that energy is super intense when you're there, and let's talk about fear then. If we're going to talk about those like sort of places and doing rituals in those places, people I love hanging out in cemeteries, pioneer cemeteries, old cemeteries, walking around cemeteries. And I have no problem using a spirit board and doing whatever and talking to the spirits that are there. And I know what my intention is and opening and closing the doors properly.
That's everything.
But let's talk about fear.
Fear is my favorite subject, because when you change it's fear, this changed my life. Fear can freeze us in our tracks, make us not make that phone call, not have the conversation we want to have, make us not live the life we want to live. Or fear is $1 million industry in a town where I live. Fear, people pay money to watch scary movies and scary TV shows and ride roller coasters and do adventure travel to Romania. So why not the same fear that's like, I'm so scared and I'm going to ride the roller coaster. I'm so scared I'm going to go on a paranormal investigation. I'm so scared, but I'm going to have that conversation with my lover, spouse, parents. As soon as you flip, the thing that freezes you can inspire you, that adrenaline of fear. If you focus into positive, everything changes. I'm not going to get into my whole story. I don't need to. I was a victim between age 15 and 30. Health issues, serious. I was told by the time I was 30, I'd be dead by 50. And every autoimmune, my mom took a drug when she was pregnant, blah, 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 a whole big story. But I lived in fear, and I'm going to die early, and I can't have children, and I have all these diseases. And at 30, when I got this, you have a brain tumor and you have cancer. And I went, I'm not going to get sick anymore. I'm not going to be a victim anymore. I completely stopped getting sick at 30. Everything went. And so at 50, and I just I've given up on fear, and it became inspiration. So at 50, to prove the world, instead of being dead or in a wheelchair as promised by medical industry, I went, well, I want to prove the world. I do live in Hollywood. I want to prove the world that we can do anything we believe we can do, and we can
Yep.
conquer our fears. I go, I'm going to do the world's hardest obstacle course. So I beat 100,000 people and got on WipeOut, the big balls, those scariest. And I kept going through it where I physically should not have, emotionally. And literally beat everybody. When I got there, it was like months of auditioning. I got there and I saw, it's like, oh my God, this is like a 50-foot drop into a burning bowl of fire, water. I'm afraid of heights. I forgot that. And I'm like, it took every bit of my fear to going, this is the scariest thing I have ever done. You could die here. And it took every bit of my gumption not to get in my car and drive away. But I did it, and I did it, and I faced that fear with such inspiration. And it was the most painful, scary, cold, empowering thing I had ever done. I did it. I got to that bullseye, and after that you go, I can make that phone call. I could be my truth. I can step into my magic. I could step into that spotlight. And then I want to prove, like, oh my God. Okay. All right. I want to prove that that wasn't a fluke, that I did this physical thing I shouldn't done, beat the odds by a billion. I want to do something else. I'm in Hollywood. I can't cook. I got kicked out of home ec. My husband won't let me in the kitchen. I'm going to cook for Gordon Ramsay. I'm scared to death. I don't want to. I don't know what saute means. I don't. So I did the whole witch thing. I used positive magic. I didn't wish anybody bad along. I mean, you do good and you do good. And everything I put out came back. Next thing I know, I'm on MasterChef season 3 again, and weeks of sequester, and you're working, and I'm into the MasterChef kitchen going, what am I doing? This is scarier. This is scarier than WipeOut. I'm going to cook for, Gordon Ramsay, Joe Bastian, and Graham. I'm like, I'm going to run. I'm not going to run. And again, I did it. And most empowering. And again, just to prove it, I did it a third time going, okay, I know I'm talented. I'm multi-talented. I do a lot of things, but not any of those talents they have on America's Got Talent. I'm going to get on America's Got Talent. I want to intent and magic and manifestation. Next thing I know, I am rolling around on the floor, making a fool of myself with Howie Mandel on the Dolby Theater at AGT. And now there's not, I don't want somebody fear like pointing a gun at you. But again, if you face that fear with, I'm going to do it, is the person who's going to get out of it. So fear, as soon as you embrace fear as the best energy bump you're going to get, and you just direct it with intent, your word, Carolyn, you can do anything. You could beat the odds by hundreds of thousands, literally.
Yeah.
And people who do.
It's inspiring. And it doesn't have to, when you're on the other side of it, you laugh about it. Like, holy cow, I just did this. I just did this. And that's part of it, right? Not letting go of perceived or projected expectations or judgments or value, worth, and just having an experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's,
so I don't know. I'm still scared of stairs that I can see through. That have no right.
Or a lot of puppy dogs. I don't know. It's interesting. Maybe you had a past life like that or something. Or
something.
But again, embrace that fear, Carolyn. Embrace that fear.
Oh,
and every time you do them, it's just gonna be so good.
There's a video somewhere. Everybody will go looking for it now. I went to David Oman's house.
Oh yeah, my neighbor.
Yeah. So went up his stairs where you can see through him. It's out with the glass walls over the canyon. Oh my gosh, my hands are sweaty just talking about it.
His dogs and his cats and his.
Oh my gosh, he loves his animals. So I'm holding his pants. I had just met him that day, and I'm holding the back of his pants right at his belt and his shirt, like this, going, oh my God, David. Oh my God, David. Oh my God, David. Walk slower. Stop. Because he was like guiding me up and down the stairs, and he had a big sweaty handprint on the back of his shirt by the time we were done. But I did it. But I was like, I was drama. I was drama through the whole thing.
Yeah, that is a weird see-through staircase with glass walls in the canyon. That's Hysterical.
And the compass, like if you stand at the top of his stairs, a compass doesn't even find a true north. It just spins in a circle. So you feel,
Really? I didn't even know
yes.
all the times I
Oh,
was
yeah.
there.
You stand at the top and it's a woo-woo feel.
It's a woo-woo feel. That, yes.
For sure. And I love that story, that, or all of the stories that you share. And that's part of it too, is that you feel okay when you're on the other side of it, about being transparent, about and authentic about who you are, and you let go of, this is just what it is. And
Yeah, I am scared. And I'm going to do it anyway. I again,
yeah.
remember to embrace fear as energy, and don't take yourself too seriously.
This is it. And that was, what I've noticed with you is that you bring that sense, again, the ray of positivity. So finding that sense of humor. And I think that comes with, some of the things that we have to do are really heavy.
Yeah, they are.
And so having that balance with humor and creativity is so important.
Yeah, and with people at their most vulnerable, we work with
Mm.
people. So, yes, and it's serious and it's heavy, but we have to balance everything, in life, and yeah.
How do you what fuels your spirit? What recharges you?
Well, I am an elemental girl, so I have got to get outside, and I am grateful and lucky enough to live in the Hollywood Hills. My house is a regular little 1920s bungalow, but I have a third of an acre with little
Mm,
portals in this wild, big, beautiful backyard. But
wow.
even with that, I go up. Literally, I live right under the Hollywood sign, and right above my head is Lake Hollywood. It's a big man-made reservoir in the 1920s. It's the best view of the Hollywood sign. It's beautiful. It's a
Wow.
3.5-mile walk or run around. We do a workout every day. We count the turtle. It's not a working reservoir, so it's not chlorinated. So we count the wildlife. We count the turtles. We feed the deer. We nursed a sick coyote a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And that is my sanity. I start when I'm in town 6 days a week. My first thing in the morning, rain or shine, not heavy rain, but light rain like today. No thunderstorms. You cannot be standing on a dam in a thunderstorm, as rare as they are in California. But hot weather, and that grounds me for the day. Then I'm going to go into
Right.
my crazy, often 20-hour day. But that starts me, Matt. It's just nature.
It's and I find if you don't do those things that grounds you or balances you, then you get grumpy. I get grumpy. A little bit grumpy. It's that off balance, and right? Like what you need in order to get back into center. And if we don't stay in that place, it makes it harder for us to do what we do, right?
Yeah.
To show up for people. Oh my gosh, we're just going right through these. I have a list. I was trying to make sure that I wrote everything down, because in my ADHD scroll on Red Bull, I was scared I would just pepper you so quickly. So I made sure that I wrote everything all out really quickly for you. Biggest influencer mentor.
Mm. My biggest, that put me on a magical path. Well, I must say my mom, because she said you could do anything you believe you can do.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
and I didn't have any kind of a religious upbringing. So when I was 13, I became a seeker. I'm going to Christian church. I'm going to Jewish temple. I'm going to Buddhist. I just everything. But I think in the 80s, when I was really young, when that whole big Wicca was taking place, because I was sampling all this, I would, again, we just weren't raised with religion. My grandfather was this big, famous philosopher, psychoanalyst, Hollywood dude, atheist, practically evangelical, humanist, and atheist. So God was a dirty word. But I would drive by a church or a temple or a mosque or a park and see this energy and I'd want to go in. Oops, sorry. That says muted. I'm so sorry, everybody. It says muted.
That's okay. I think sometimes spirit's going to do whatever they want to do. They're
They
going to,
wanna do what they wanna do. So,
yeah.
anyway, so I was, like, 13 when I think I wanted to go to some typical Christian church to see a really cute rock band, those Christian rock bands of the day, and I was like, I almost 'cause it would have been easier, can I go to a rave than can I go to a church? My mom go, "You can do whatever you want." That's when I became a seeker at 13.
Wow.
But then I went to some Long Beach Women's Spirit, which was a Wiccan in those 80s. And I went, oh, these are my people. Oh, nature, worship nature. I worship nature. Tree is who I talk to, spirits and everything. And then my path has taken many, many turns. To say I'm Wiccan anymore would be such an understatement. I've
Right.
worked in pretty much every belief system and different pagan paths. But I think what discovered me in to an elemental magical path is Scott Cunningham books. He is still where I will send people first of all the beautiful books out now. And I'm now new Llewellyn author, something coming out. But you want to know basics of earth magic? And he died in like 87. I got to meet him
Oh.
once. I will still the beautiful, sweetest, simple, because I'm about simple and easy, Scott Cunningham books. And then I think my teachers, then I went and teacher, he's deceased now, but he married or handfasted my husband and I. George Derby was one of my early teachers, and I met him here in Hollywood. And then Griffin Ked, he's actually a traditional witchcraft guy here also in Los Angeles area, has a shop called The Green Man in
Mm.
North Hollywood, and I
That's
studied with him for years and years and years. But I study with everybody. I just take it in, take it in. This works for me. This one doesn't. I need to tweak this one, and get my pot gets so full. But that would be my big Scott Cunningham, rest in peace. George
and
Derby, rest in peace, and Griffin Ked, and then so
and
many people along the way.
and how humbling is it to know that you are on somebody else's list for being
I
a
I that
mentor and inspiration, right?
This is such that nothing makes me happier. I did a past life regression class last night and teaching them again, because they're students, a lot of them are working professionals, how to properly lead people and not people. And then we did it and just was seeing, or when I'm doing, not even at my school teaching, I'll be doing, say, a mediumship guy like we do. And I'm at a college. Do a lot of college. I work with so many young people because all my YouTube stuff and my YouTubers and stuff. I From teens, all my awesomeness TV to early 20s. When I'm doing a college mediumship and I see little light bulbs turn on in these beautiful young minds
Yeah.
going, wow, I don't have to be a victim, or wow, I can create my own life, or whatever, under the guise of we're doing a Halloween time mediumship gallery, and they're taking their power, they're seeing this thing. That is that is the biggest joy I get. I'm grateful. I'm thankful every day that I do get to go to places like Romania and Texas and everywhere in the middle. But me is being able to inspire somebody to them take their path, inspire. I don't care what your path is. I don't preach any specific path. Even in my
Yeah.
school, I have 20 teachers, all different paths.
That's
We don't
awesome.
want to say we are tried craft with it. I have Catholic priests, exorcists, and werewolves, and my vampire partner.
Yeah.
Um, but that is my passion of all the things I do is,
It's teaching.
yeah,
And inspiring. I agree. And I think watching people feel empowered and that aha moment is so brilliant. It's brilliant, especially when you have people that will come in saying, I'm as dumb as a stump, I can't connect. And then you go, are you sure? And you see it. It's powerful. So Kim Sage is also a brilliant medium as well too. She does live events. Is it a full podcast, Kim? I just want to make sure that we're doing this and doing a shout out for you properly. I know that you do them on Facebook, so you can pop up your information on here for me too, please. But thank you for joining us as well. And I appreciate and I'm so grateful to you that you really advocate that there's not one path, that explore. And because how do you know what's going to resonate for you if you don't explore every day is a learning day. Every day is a learning day. Like
So,
we should
and
still be growing.
every belief system has such beautiful truths. And somebody's like, if you say, go get to my house to your house, who's to say there's only one way? You could drive, you could fly, you could walk, you could, it's like there's somebody doesn't drive,
Yeah.
it's like, who's to say there's one way? And if you take it down, because again, I study religion, I study philosophy, if you take it down to the universal truths, they're all the same, just the names have been changed.
Yeah.
And then man messes it up along the way. But if you go to the core of almost any faith and belief system, it's the same universal truths. You could see where Christianity changed things in the 1500s and 1600s and all along the way. But if you go to those core truths of any philosophy, it's just different templates put on top of basic universal truths. So find one that works for you. Some people want more direction. Some people want less direction. The only thing I don't like is when somebody says this is the only way, because who are you? Are you the one and only God that you're claiming this?
That's when people see the bottom of my shoes when I'm running away. Like, and I would never claim to be an expert because we're still learning. Hopefully, we're all still learning. Do you have? Donna's just asking, how do you have peace in your head? Can you turn off the energy in the room?
Yes. Oh, yes. Peace in my head. I'm the queen of the on-off switch. When I was a little kid, because I saw spirits, and the only thing that's bad of being gifted as a kid is I still have to sleep on my face. And when you hit a certain age, you're not supposed to sleep with your face squished into a pillow, but I can't sleep like this still.
Is it a satin pillowcase at least?
I do, but it doesn't really. It's horrible. I'm like this. It's like everything you're not supposed to do. But I was a little kid. I used to walk around with my thumbs just jammed in my hand. That was my off switch. And people say it's like sucking your thumb, but with your hand. People are like, why do you do that? I don't know. That was my off switch. So now I literally picture an on switch. On makes it, because in the craft, it's like you want the more delineation. If your broom is on this side, here's the liminal world, whatever the regular mundane world. Here is the world of magic, where magic happens, and the more delineation between them two, the better. So when I on switch, whoa, I can talk to the world, I can see the world, I can see, and you turn off mundane world, I can go to the grocery store and not turn into Long Island medium. I don't want your mother wants to talk to you. It's like, no, that's not my business. Ethically, I'm not going to go.
I'm just here to buy my bucket and my oranges.
Yes, exactly. That's it. That's all I want. So on off switch is what I'm, again, I will do that for 1 second, go, I'm off, I'm on, and that's it. I just intention is everything. And then it takes a little practice sometimes. And then I have these little clearing of the head. I have these little 30-second exercises that really change everything for me. Working elementally, working mind, body, spirit. It's like, when you're not as happy as you could be, or productive as you could be, or conscious as you can be, we don't want anything phoned in, asleep at the wheel, by rote. Just go, okay, the biggest issue with all of us is that we're out of balance right now, because the world's out of balance, the planet's out of balance, the country's out of balance. We've gone through this pandemic. So put yourself into the 4 elements that everybody knows: air, fire, water, earth. The earth is who you are. Oh, that's Carolyn. Oh, what a wonderful woman. She's gifted this and that. Oh, that's so-and-so. They're funny. You're north, working in elemental, whatever's in the north is the system you're working. So north is earth, south would be fire. So who you are, and then what drives you, your passion, creativity, who you are, what drives you, there you stand. But where we get off balance is west and east, like an airplane going like this, like a ship going west. And the elemental compass is water, our emotions. 60-70% of our body is water. It has to flow, can't be stuffed down. Emotions, thoughts, whatever, judge, whatever, water flows. East is air. Air is attached to breath. Air is thought pattern, focus, clarity. So who we are, what drives our emotions and our thoughts. Where do we get off balance most? Our emotions and our thoughts. What do we need more than anything to survive more than a few minutes or a few days? Water and air. So if you take that mind, body, spirit thing of create it, and we know that water How good is okay, so say you're not happy, but you're upset. You got in a fight with somebody or somebody flipped you off. That's your emotions is off balance too much. Whether you're screaming on the outside or holding it inside, whatever it is, that's your water element is off balance. What you need is water, running water. It's like an aspirin for a headache. Think how good you feel after every shower you've ever taken, right? You just
Yeah.
feel better. Running water is like an aspirin for a headache. So, but you can't jump in a shower, but you could always find running water, a sink, a bathroom, a drinking fountain, a hose, pouring a little bottle of water on your hand with that
Yeah.
with this intent, whether you're talking to your emotion or God or gods or the element of water itself, with this 30 seconds, you release it healthfully. Then you could deal with it. Say it's not your emotions. So say you're chatty head, you can't think, which we all get, whether it's hormonal, I can't focus. Most of it because none of us are breathing well. We went through 2 years of wearing masks, and now we're always in a hurry. So we're shallow breathing, short breathing, and that causes chatty brain, foggy brain focus. So what you need to do is breathe. And if you want to do it in 30 seconds, add some sound magic. I do a lot of hecka work, sound. Every sound we make, every vowel, every consonant has an effect on us, but vowels clear the head, period. Think about it. Every vowel, almost every sacred word is a vowel. Amen. Om. Native American, hey, East Indian,
The scales. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
So again, okay, I can't think. I'm foggy. I have to go on this great spirit switchboard show. I need to think straight. Okay. Set your intention, whether again, whoever you're talking to, your mind, your brain waves, God, gods, aliens, with this 30 seconds of deep breathing, 30 seconds of vowels. I need to pull in the focus and clarity of the air element. Ah, or om, or E-I-E-I-O with your kid within 30 seconds. The chatter stops, fog lifts, clarity comes in. Those two are game changers. I've seen people get off depression med with run my hands underwater because it's emotions, breathe because it's my thought pattern and focus. If you're not grounded, if you're grounded, because a lot of us gifted people, especially, leave our body all the time, right? Not feeling grounded. And you can't hug a tree, which I highly recommend. Grab anything wood, grab your crystal. A pencil still has the spirit of that tree. Anything wood, a granite countertop. Hold on to it, 30 seconds, breathe. You will be grounded with the right intent.
Yeah.
And
it's brilliant.
Fire, it's great. And for fire, if you need fire, and too little fire, you're lethargic, you're tired, you're uninspired. Too much fire in that moment, you're agitated, you're angry, you're all this, and you need to balance it out either way. And you can't dance around a bonfire, which is my first choice, but you can't do that. The hecka, just the sound to balance out your fire either direction is Z. Zzz. Like literally ask a nature, what does a bee sound like, John? That's that lightning strike. It's the breath of a dragon. So okay, I have a hot date with my honey, I'm not feeling it, or I'm so agitated, or whatever. Okay, whether you're talking to Peleg volcano or the breath of a dragon or the Holy Spirit of Christianity, whatever, or the element of fire itself, with this 30 seconds of deep breathing, 30 seconds of Z, I need to pull and balance out the fire. Zzz. 30 seconds is a long time, but if you need to sit down, but within 30 seconds, you will balance it out and have the fire, creativity, inspiration, passion that you need. We have it all on this little planet. We are, as of now, we work with deity, we work with stuff, but we are earthly beings right now, maybe half earthly and half otherworldly.
Yeah.
But if we work into these elements, we've got it all right here.
Agreed. I when I'm doing the really big events, public messages and all that sort of stuff, I always have a wet cloth on a table close beside me so that I can rinse my hands off as I'm working, because it helps clear quickly. It helps me stay focused, move things around the way. And I'm teasing when I say it, but I say, like, dead folks feel like sticky little children. They start to build up after a while. I need to clean it off, and just then I've got room for more. Exactly.
That's adorable.
I've also been known to I have this huge singing bowl, which is awful that I don't use it as a singing bowl, but I'll fill it with water and Epsom salts or crystal salts with a few crystals in it and put it underneath my desk if I know that sessions feel like they might be heavy that day. And I'm like, we're just going to stay grounded while we're working at the same time.
Dipping my feet in the, it's true. And it's amazing. And again, I think early man knew that. We knew, but we were so much closer to the land. We were lived on the land. But
Yeah.
so many people I give like those little easy nothing techniques to, they go,
They're
wow,
brilliant.
I always do go wash my hands when I'm feeling
Yeah.
it's like our body knows to want to
Well,
do that.
exactly. Our body does intuit, and our spirit will move our body if we pay attention to those little intuitive nudges, and make it be okay for you. It doesn't have to be the same as anybody else's. Grant
Yeah.
Evans, who's been a guest on the show as well too, and you can check out twice actually those archive shows on SoundCloud. He's part of a paranormal investigative team here in Ontario, Canada, called TOPS. He's saying, hi, you two wonderful people. Happy to listen in today. Thanks for being here, Grant. Deborah Hackett-Jones has also been on the show as well, too. She's a medical intuitive here in Ontario. So she's popping in to say hello. And her show is also in the archives on SoundCloud, too, if you guys want to check out her 2 segments, actually. Deb also gave a tip on her segment for grounding really quickly and taking a metal spoon and scooping the instep of your foot really quickly.
Oh, that's good. I don't know that one. I like that.
Yeah. And I've had a few people comment that have tried doing it as well too. Jackie is just asking, are a lot of those ideas or things that you've put in your book using the elements?
That's what I said. That 30-second to fix anything is in it. I call it 30 seconds to fix anything. Yeah, that is what the whole book is. Simple little hacks like that. Easy, free, fast, effective.
Yeah. And people are more inclined to do it if it's going to be quick and easy.
Yeah.
Hi, Anita. Happy belated birthday, Anita. I hope that you had a good day and everything is going well. Contessa is just saying, I just started using the spoon to ground. That's brilliant. Thank you, Deb, for passing that on and teaching all of us that. If you guys are just tuning in, you are listening to Spirit Switchboard. I am your host, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7, New Orleans. And our guest today is celebrity psychic medium and good witch, Patti Negri. Thanks for being here, Patti.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm going to have to go pretty soon because I have to head down to Long Beach. But so exciting to see you.
Thank you.
Audience you have. This is awesome.
Thank you. Before I know that you need to leave relatively soon. Do I have time to ask you one more question quickly?
Yes, 2 more.
Okay.
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay. So seances are like my favorite thing in the world. I love seances. I love that you do seances. Do you have a tip that you would give to people to prepare for a seance? Like what kind of things would you encourage them to do in preparation for a seance, or how to be open-minded?
Yeah, many of them. But for a real simple one, mine's kind of, again, just kind of born in me, Victorian spiritualist style. Again, really set your sacred space. Set your space wherever you're going to be. Even if you have to do it, you're just arriving to a location to do it. Set that space and clear it and open however works within your belief system, whoever's running it, the medium, or if you guys are just a bunch of friends doing it, set your intent, who and what you're going to bring in. It is all intent, and you don't just let anybody in. Even if you're working with a Ouija or a spirit board, you don't go anybody out there. Really? Do you let anybody in your house? Maybe just high vibration spirits with real messages, spirits, attached to me and my family and friends that are here. But my best thing for seances, again, I really do lift the veil elementally. So everybody gets to be a psychic. Everybody's set up. I'm sure many people do it like that. I'm sure I want to experience one of yours because I could see how magical you are.
Thank you.
I
love doing them. I added table tipping for the first time last week in the seance for the group that came, and it was wild. I had never done it before.
I had never till last year. Oh my God. I was at Vulture City. Oh my God. It's what I was at.
It is wild.
It's wild. I was at Vulture City and I always do a seance there and this haunted thing. And they were advertising. All of a sudden I saw the advertising and table tipping by Patti Negri. I'm like, what? I don't table tip. My dining room table weighs like 400 pounds. And so I called Tim Shaw. I don't know if anybody knows him, but
Yeah,
he's a
he's
beautiful medium. He grew up in Lilydale. Again, the whole spiritualist thing. I'm like, Tim, I have to know how to, I don't know. This is what is it? And he's like, okay. And he taught me in like 5 seconds flat about the ectoplasm and how to pull. And like, we had those tables rocking all over. And again, I don't even think I've done it since, but I loved it.
it's fun energy. And I think, I don't know if it's, did you laugh at first? Did you like go, and then
Yeah.
laugh? As I wondered if the energy of how we're responding also helps move it, like it's just,
Sure.
they get
Energy.
excited too.
Yeah, I think so. And it's like, this is fun. And I get it because it's not scary. It's whatever.
No.
So I even stepped away and I had to keep new people coming in. And
Yes.
4 people at table. And we just had it
Yeah.
flying. It's,
I
yeah,
did
I love
this.
that
I
you
did
did.
the same because the guests that came for the seance, sometimes I know like that you and I, because we're working at that elevated place, that's our intention. We're working on our personal healing as well too. So it comes up. But I stepped away and allowed them to have their experience and it was still doing what it needed to do.
I know. It's so great.
And it walked and tipped. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to get this quick. Contessa was asking, what is table tipping?
table tipping.
Literally.
Literally.
We used a wooden like TV table, just like you can use a card table, and you just get everybody put their hands on it. I got everybody we did a visualization while our fingers were on it. We did some breath work. We did some tonal work as well too. So we just raised your vibrational level, however, setting your intention. And then we asked for them to rap. And I got a video of it actually where the table was moving back and forth and we asked for a knock and you could hear it. They said it felt almost like vibrationally, but not there. Like it felt weird.
Yeah, no, it's a great, and literally it's table tipping. I think my biggest thing for seance, which I've been doing naturally, and then I learned later that it was a spiritualist thing, is for everybody at the seance who's willing, you don't have to, is have sugar before the seance and salt after to ground. It's a Victorian thing. Like they would used to serve
Oh,
like cookies and sherry or tea,
yes.
whatever. But I really think the scientific behind it is it's blood sugar. So it raises your blood sugar. So all your senses are better because I want everybody to see the spirit. So I will have, whether I'm handing them a cookie or whatever, sugar
That's
before and
interesting.
salt to ground. And I will pass out, here's a pretzel, here's a potato chip. Because it brings you down
Yeah.
because you
It
want to
does bring you down.
or touch iron. I will pass a little one of those little cauldrons, but iron or if you have a lodestone, but so we get sweets before and salt after, it really brings it up and shuts it down.
So that's when I first started doing the Victorian seances from home, I set it up kind of like a high tea and then
Yeah.
it shifted after, but I never thought about doing the salt after. But personally, I'm always like, if I need a handful of chips or some French fries to pull me down quick, then I was okay with that. But I never thought about making sure the guests did too.
Yeah. So
I'm
try
very
it.
sorry. Anybody who's came to my seances, I apologize now and I'm learning. Thank you, Patti.
I learn every day. I'm going to go scrape my foot with a big spoon. I think this is great. I
Yeah.
hope there's never a day I don't learn something.
Oh, yeah, and feeling okay to say that we're learning, right? Like, Grant is saying, very cool. Thank you for sharing your tips. And I just want to come back to Anita really quickly. I'm glad to tell you that I'm cancer-free. Oh, Anita, that's fabulous. Thank you for sharing that. I'm happy to hear that. The same and being, I think for people who've never experienced a seance before either, it's just being open to it's just focused spirit communication.
Yeah. Yeah. It's focused spirit communication. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful
And
thing.
it's messages of forgiveness and positivity. Those messages that they need to hear, amends sometimes, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Jasmine, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. We're not giving out messages today. It's not that kind of show, but I do appreciate you being here. Jennifer. Yeah, Jennifer's been to one of the seances here before. And I like that. Oh, you know who I wanted to share with you really quickly too, because I have a few minutes with you. I had Rick Schreck on the show. He made the huge Ouija board that was, and
That we
yeah.
in the middle of, yeah, with Tim Shaw. Actually, we did
Yes.
at Michigan Paracon a couple of years ago, not last year, I think the year before. We
Yeah.
were in the middle of the whole of the world's largest pledge. And it was so silly. He made
But
it
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, he made it. And did you try? He's got a hearse with a pull out spirit board at the
Oh, I
back as
haven't
well
got
too.
that one yet. No. Maybe I'll have it this year somewhere.
Yeah, it's just fun, right? Like, and I think that I would encourage people to be open-minded that way. Don't see it as something that needs to be scary, but when you're setting your intention that it's coming from the highest source of love and good, it's in the highest interest, most amount of healing for everyone, opening it in the right way and then having fun.
Yeah. And then have fun. Again, you're going to get sweet messages and great messages. The only time I've ever gotten in trouble or had people get in trouble, and I've gotten in trouble, is when somebody got disrespectful.
Mm.
That's the thing, that disrespectful to spirits, disrespectful to people, disrespectful to the ritual of what you were doing.
Could
You
you share the spontaneous combustion
My fire
story?
story? Yeah.
That's wild.
Oh, yeah.
Not that, I mean, we're trying to not preach fear. So remember that this is
No,
a fluky thing.
This is a fluky thing, and it has the best happy ending. So, okay, I live in, like I said, in the Hollywood Hills. It's an old, my house is 1920. It's the first movie enclave built in Hollywood in the 20s. And there's this other house, and it's a combination of little like writers' bungalows like mine, and then the movie star houses, the little ones. It's a beautiful mix. But there's this one movie star house. It was built by Charlie Chaplin for one of his many lovers. This one was for I'm blanking out on her name. It'll come to me in a second. She was a movie star too. So it was a total party house, party. And when there is a lot of drug and alcohol, it could bring in some dark stuff. So for years, it was a party house. It looks practically like it was built by masons, sacred geometry everywhere, round spiral staircase, 12 windows here. Just literally, there is a compass drawn in the floor on the entry, leaded glass, everything. It's beautiful and spooky. So it was a party house, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Then the Rolling Stones manager bought it, and it was the Rolling Stones stayed there, Mamas and Papas, Graham Parsons. So it was a creative, probably party house. And then they moved out, and then the person who rented the real life sex doll moved in, and the house by then was getting too scary for him. Moved out. And then my neighbor, Marilyn Manson, moved in and lived there for 7 years. Good neighbor, actually, but it actually got too spooky for him. Anyway, we were there at his house and they were doing a documentary, the Mary Astor house, doing a documentary about this crazy haunted house in the Hollywood Hills. And one kid, and it was young people around. Oh God, haven't you noticed that when people are past puberty, but not too far in the 20s, energy is so strong. Their life is so strong.
Yeah.
So whether
Currently
you're
living with one.
or, oh yeah, there you go. It's like, that's my poltergeist. So anyway, my whole table was filled with that young people like that. And one kid got disrespectful. So first kind of cool things were happening. Like the French doors flew open and everybody's like, wah! And the cameras would catch it. And the producer side of me is going, wow, that's pretty cool. Okay, best spirits. But this kid was getting this, and I felt the agitation in the spirit. And then that happened again. And then he said something else stupid. And there was a speaker on the floor, like you put speakers on the floor, like old school. How big can your speakers be? Your radio. And it came on. It sounded like white noise. It sounded just like a spirit box. Yeah, white noise. But it wasn't plugged in. We looked later. But everything is building, and I'm feeling it coming in. And I'm trying to keep control of the room. But we're filming, and everybody knew what they were in for, not like a private seance. And the kid said something else really stupid. It was a 4-camera shoot, so it was a pretty shoot. He said something stupid, not him, but the cameraman facing him burst into flames. Like a V up his back, like angel wings of fire up his back. And he was not standing in front of a fireplace or a candle. So I'm like, 2 cameras actually caught it on film. One
Wow.
camera started filming like the ceiling or the floor because you test the metal of a small room bursting into flames. And then his camera, poor guy, is facing, why is everybody screaming, pointing at him? And cool witch medium Patty becomes medic Patty, of which I am. I'm EMT1 certified. I drop and roll. I'm calling in my protector. Drop and roll. This is not okay. This is not okay. This does not happen on my watch. Spontaneous combustion. No, I'm shutting it down, shut the veil. But the cameraman, who was a super skeptic and not believer, he's like, I'm okay. His shirt burnt off him like it was synthetic, but it was a heavy cotton. It should not have went poof like that. And I'm looking at the blistering on his back. I'm like, no, this is not okay. We can't. I've never shut down a filming or a seance. He goes, no, I'm okay. I'm intrigued. I'm a skeptic. This is like Spinal Tap. I'm like, so I talked to the spirit and I'm like, and it wasn't demonic. I think demons get way too much
Oh,
credit.
I agree.
Oh, 99% is like, you're just a cranky ass ghost.
Yes,
A cranky
I agree.
human who turned into a cranky ghost. And it was the
Bully.
ghost. Big in life, big in death. We were a Hollywood ghost, and it was like, I'm gonna burst you into flames, honey. And so anyway, so we did continue, and more crazy stuff happened. Insane glasses flying across the room. Did try to push the cameraman off the cliff by the house. I had to make him a little mojo bag, but how it turns into it, and we finished it. And again, I set up wards and protectors, but the cameraman, 3 weeks later, he goes, Patty, he sent me a picture. Look at my back. And it totally looked like he had went and got a tattoo of a dragon on the small of his back. Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged head into the shape of a serpent. And that is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance.
I was going to ask.
I work dragon magic. It's crossroads magic. Dragons can fly from heaven to earth. They live at the crossroads. This is what I shut down. I'm looking at his back. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon. That is about the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And he thought so too. So he actually he wrote a script. He wrote a movie with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the Blade vampire series. They haven't done it yet. I hope somebody like Margot Robbie play.
Yeah.
But anyway, they haven't. But it's about basically a TV psychic who does every TV show, and then a portal opens. It's called The Portal, and then all hell breaks loose, and it becomes the kind I like, the funny, scary horror film. But and all you guys out here, because everybody has a YouTube page and TikTok and Instagram, I sat down with him for 5 hours, and I go, Lauren, you cannot have the actor say that on camera. You can't say that. He's like, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That opens a portal. You can't say that. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? It happens all the time. Do you think spirit energy, good or bad, knows the difference of an actor reciting lines off a page and somebody really conjuring? They don't. That's why so many horror films, and that's why more and more films are using consultants now. Like I do consult. It's like, no, let's change those words so they sound as magical or as spooky, but they are not going to open a portal to hell. So if they ever do that movie, it won't be haunted. It won't be cursed. It won't be.
That's so brilliant. And it's true though, like that the words are opening. You're opening, and if you don't know how to close it, you're creating an issue. Alicia is just saying, I like that. Cranky ass go.
Cranky ass go. You know, cranky in life, cranky in death.
Yeah, and sometimes they're just bully. And I mean, I certainly have been in places on an investigation where they start yelling demon through the spirit box, but you know that it isn't. It's just them not wanting to share their space, not wanting people there. You're interrupting whatever they've got going on, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right. So I more and more, even like with my seance I've talked about, I have everybody introduce themselves and say welcome spirits and say who they're, because I have each person invite in who they want, and I say welcome them. It's like invite them. Changes everything.
Do do you have a heavy Victorian focus with it, or
Not as much as
influence? I guess influence is
I
probably a
think
better
it
word.
is, and I think it just came naturally. I do
Me
recite a
too.
few Victorian thing. I open
Me too.
elementally, air and fire, water.
Yeah.
I recite this little, "There is a place where we all go where ne'er the frost and cold and
I say the same thing.
remember beauty night, and those who hate forget their spite. We gather round these gentle beings. We
We
call you now
ask you
to
now
bless."
to bless
I
our
ring a
meeting.
bell Victorian
Me
style,
too. Yeah.
open the so yeah, so I guess I do have a very big Victorian influence.
Yeah, I love it, and it feels right, and I think for me
Right.
too, when I was starting to do the seances and doing that prayer as well too at the beginning, to me, every time I do a seance, I'm honoring all of those mediums before me, whether they're related or not, they're part of my history and path, and I wanna make sure that I'm including them
Yeah.
in what I'm doing today and asking them to help from the other side as well, right?
Yep, yep, that's the way to do it. So, that is so cool that you do that. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
I think that prayers was actually in a spiritualist magazine from 1902.
Really?
Yeah.
I searched it. I've been doing it like 20, 30 years. So I it took me a long I translated it from something, from something, from something. Now, because I teach it in my school, it's because it's so sweet, it's nice.
It
So
is.
it's like you say nice things about everything.
Yep,
So that
and those who hate forget their spite. That's the
yeah,
part, that line,
because
I love that line.
yeah, gather around these gentle beings, and that's we're setting it up. I love
Um,
that you do that. Yay.
Contessa, I'm not actually sure, I don't know if there's a name to it. Do you know if there's a
No,
name to it?
no.
I've never found a name
Me neither.
either.
I think it's just a little chanty saying, prayer, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah. I live in Guelph, Ontario, and in Kitchener, Waterloo area a few years ago, they did a whole um, uh, installment about seances
Wow.
and trance channeling, and it was beautiful. And they had come and asked me if I would do a seance for them before they opened, just to see what it would be like. And then they used that prayer in their installment. They wrote it out and used it in their
Oh, that's beautiful.
installment. Yeah. At least it's just saying great switchboard. Thank you very much. And you're welcome. Are you feeling like it's time,
Yeah,
Patty?
I believe
I'm feeling that energy
I've been
shift a bit.
having so much fun though, but I've gotta get down to it. The longer I wait on a Friday, I'm gonna hit more traffic, but you are such a beautiful hostess. You are such a
Oh, thank
beautiful
you.
host, such a
Well, I
generous host,
hope,
and your people
when
are so fun, so I thank you. I don't wanna go, but
well, I appreciate you being here, and I'll keep it up, and I will, it says Patti Negri on the bottom, pattinegri.com. If you guys want to check out the Power Panties, the book is through the website as well too. I will just give that.
thank you. And
All
code
of your
Patty
stuff is,
for 25% off. The Power Panties or my whole
what is
spellcaster
the
line.
code again, Patty?
PATTI. Code PATTI, you get 25% off. And my spellcaster line, which is the same as my panties, but it's hoodies and yoga line and a whole thing. Just magical clothes. Easy, inexpensive.
Yeah, I
Nice.
love it. I love it. Thank you
Code
so
Patty
much
will
for
get
sharing your
all.
time and energy with all of us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for what you do and what you bring to
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, it's my pleasure. It's not often that, like, our passion gets to be our profession,
Isn't it?
and how blessed and humbling it is.
It is. We are lucky, and everybody else can be lucky too. Follow your passions.
Yes, follow your passion. So, everyone that's in the chat, hang out with me still, because we're going to keep talking. We have about another half hour with the show to go, and we can talk about seances. We can talk about spirits. Ask me some questions. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. We still have about 30 minutes left for you guys to hang out with me on the show, and we're going to say goodbye to Patty. Thank you for being
All
here,
right. Bye,
and I
everybody.
hope that
Thank
you come
you,
back
everybody.
again.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
No.
Safe drive.
Okay, bye. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Oh my gosh, that was brilliant. I love talking about seances. Have you guys, I know that Jennifer, you're here and you have been to one of the seances. Have you just been to one? I think you've been to one. Thanks, Jackie. I'm loving the guests that we have on the show, and you know, some of the guests that are in the chat as well too. Oh, you know what, Joni, I'm just realizing that I never even um you know, mentioned that you were on the show as well too, and all that, like, it was recent as well too, you were on. So that episode where we talked about true crime and astrology is on SoundCloud as well too, for you guys to listen to on the archive if you wanted to go check it out. Just one. Um, I think that I have a few. I know that they're sold out right now. I do have a few. And I know that um I was doing the seances a little bit. Joni's episode, Jennifer's just saying, Joni, yours was so interesting. I agree. That segment was really good. Um, on Facebook, I have it's called Carrie Lynn's Morning Porch. So it is an intuitive development group. It's a private group. So what happens there stays there. We treat it like Vegas. I've really been dropping the ball a wee bit about posting the intuitive practices, but I try to get on there to post the intuitive practices on full moons. I do some energetic cord cutting with everybody, practice or a meditation, and just try to hold a space, a safe space for people to explore their intuition. So I know that I was doing the seances there quite a bit. And we had a clip of my daughter and I doing the seance with the spirit board, and someone's dad came through saying hi, and the people that were listening to the live seance caught it. We didn't even hear it in the moment when we were using the board, but the people watching heard this voice, male voice, as he was spelling his name. So he was started spelling out his name, and then we heard hi, and you can hear it. Yeah, Sandy, do you remember that? It was crazy. I have a clip somewhere I'll have to show you. And I pulled a picture out that I'll be able to show you right now. Um, I'll put it up on social media after the show. Jody McGrath is just saying, so chocolate to start and chips to end the seances from now on. I'm not going to say no. We have an in with Purdy's. So Taryn is all about the seances as well too. But when I started the Victorian seances, which is a number of years ago, almost 10, I guess. I've been doing the Victorian seances just small from my home. And I started off with it was a lot. I had teacups with flowers in them for everybody that came. I had tiered. It was like a Victorian high tea. I had sweets and all kinds of stuff, and then we would just do. I would just share messages, and it's evolved over time. Like it evolved over time. Where I don't do the flowers as much anymore. I was doing so many seances, and I don't have the treats anymore either. Now I feel bad that I don't do the treats. I don't have the chocolate. Now we're going to have to do chocolate again. And it's giving me permission because I'm all about the chocolate. Sorry, guys. I'm on the tail. It's allergy season, I guess. It's because it's not, I don't have a cold. And I think too, the way that the seances have evolved for me, I'm really enjoying as well too. It's not just channeled messages. Where I'm working, I feel like the people that are coming for the seances now are having their own experiences interacting with spirits. I use some paranormal investigative equipment. And like I said, we tried the table tipping last time. and it was brilliant. We did the winners of the 12 Days of Giving. If you follow me on Facebook, every year at Christmas time, I do this thing called the 12 Days of Giving. And I organized with a group here in Guelph called Guelph Urbex, who has also been on the show as well too. So you can check out Jacqueline Goldman's segment on SoundCloud. So she does this thing called haunted pub crawls, and I gave I organized to do a private event with her, and I put up a couple of spots for people to win through the 12 Days of Giving. And so Jody, my friend Jody McGrath, who has also been on the show, we do these investigation of pioneer cemeteries. So she did a segment with me talking about the pioneer cemetery investigations that we've done. So some friends and family, my sister, we did the table tipping before we went downtown just for them to try, and it was a lot of fun. It's a whole other way. It's hard to even explain, but it will rock back and forth like yeses or nos, or it will start to walk. Like you can make it walk away from the wall as well too. Jackie's asking, I would love to do a seance with a group. Would you always need a group to do table tipping? Could you do it by yourself? So I mean, I personally think that if you have at least two people, then, and again, making sure that you are opening and closing and knowing what you're doing as well too. It builds the energy up. I haven't tried doing it on my own. I don't know. I suppose you could, but when you have more than one person, you're building that energy up, and it's hard. It's like they get excited as well too. Like it was spinning in circles, and we were having a hard time keeping up. And like I said, I stepped away, and so people could have their own experience. And I did film it, but I will ask the people that participated if they will give me permission to share the video, because I do have the video of it spinning, and then you can hear the knock that happened. And Jody's just sharing it was incredible, and I truly think our laughter amped up the activity. I agree. I think that they feed off of that energy today. They fed off the energy of that seance. Jennifer saying, I was blown away with the spirit board. I'm so thankful to have been a part of that. Well, I was glad that you came for the seance. And the spirit board, it's interesting. I find I try to have lots of different things available. Like I'll channel and I'll do automatic writing in the seance as well too. I give everyone the opportunity if they want to try the Estes method, which is using the blindfold noise canceling headphones and the SB11. Everyone can try doing that as well too if they want to have that experience. And adding the table tipping, I feel, I don't know, I've had some growth. Like I kind of felt like I needed to do things the same because everybody was expecting that. And I know that I need to be okay to try new things and introduce new things in the seances for people as well too. And it's good to grow and try new things, right? How did you start doing them? Did you do research? Did someone teach you the opening, closing? Okay. Thank you for asking that, Contessa. So I did a lot of research on my own, and it's interesting because not everybody wants to share information. It's not always so kumbaya in the community, which it makes me sad. That makes me sad. So what I did was as much deep diving as I could, and I picked what resonated for me, and then trial and error as well too. Like it took me a while before I found the prayer, that poem, which how exciting was that Patti does the same one. Uh, it feels good. So knowing that even just with my intention when I'm doing a regular session, I wanted some of that to come through with the seance. And I also wanted it to be teaching moments. So, making sure people understood how they can put their intention into the seance, opening up protection and then shutting down as well too. So some of that was stuff I was already teaching through intuitive development and mediumship development. And then as far as the process of the seance and what we did, it just was trial and error and always shifting and moving. And the original poke, I guess, to get me going with the seances was a book that I read called The Witch of Lime Street, which was about oh no, I can't believe I'm forgetting her name, but it was a medium that almost won the the Scientific Americana contest that Harry Houdini and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. There was other scientists. They were judging this contest to see if there was any mediums that could actually prove that they were legit. It was really early when spiritualism was taking off, and Houdini wanted to connect with his mom. He was out to prove that mediums were charlatans. He was hosting a lot of seances, and his very public battle with this medium who was actually Canadian, and she married a Boston doctor and had moved into the States. It was a very public battle that they had anyway. So I read this book about her seances, and they actually got kind of raunchy, to be honest. they were kind of raunchy. At one point she was naked and letting people check all her lady bits out to make sure she didn't have anything there. And I know at one point I think he had nailed her hair down. Houdini created like a box, a speaking box for her to be inside to try to catch her being a charlatan. That book just, I don't know, that was really the inspiration of the book for me to start doing the seances from home and see what happens with them and where it goes. Hi, Lauren. Thank you for being here. Alicia, I'm not sure if the prayer is written anywhere or not. I don't know if it's in Patti's book. I can write it out as well too. Let's stick it on social media for you. Yeah, it's fun, right? That the prayer is the same as Patti. It really does set a lovely tone. Yeah, I know, right? That Houdini was very much into psychics. That was a big part. And honestly, I would love Houdini to come through in a seance. He hasn't. We've had other famous people come through, but I haven't had Houdini. Yes, Penny Dreadful. Okay, what was the book called again? Oh, for Patti, just one second. I had to write it out. Old World Magic for the Modern World: Tips, Tricks, and Techniques to Balance, Empower, and Create a Life You Love. Michelle Plummer. Penny Dreadful also, like at the same time Penny Dreadful was out, for some reason Penny Dreadful popped in my head. So I know that Penny Dreadful, there's one episode in Penny Dreadful where they do the seance, and she starts trance channeling, so her voice changes and she does that creepy crawl across the table. Oh, that's a powerful scene. And again, fear, right? It's very fear based, and it makes it all moody and everything else. And I wouldn't say that any of the seances that I've done are scary or moody that way. The ones in home, anyway, the ones at home. Um, I had one intense experience where a spirit that had come through really needed support and crossing over. So we kind of shut everything down. I shut everything down and stopped what we were doing to help cross that spirit over. And then we cleared the energy of the space and cleared everybody that was here and grounded them. But for as long as I've been doing mediumship full time as a career, like I've only had to stop something like that, or a session, and help somebody cross over in the moment, like 2 or 3 times. I don't think he did. I don't think that he did. Contessa's just sharing, Penny Dreadful is my favorite. Yes. Yes. As you can see, my profile picture is Vanessa Ives. I've loved Penny Dreadful too. That scene was exciting. I agree. The spirit that I had to help cross over, it was not necessary to say that it needed help. Just the way that things were happening in the space, equipment was going off, how she was in my face. And I actually was in the Estes method at the time, and so I had the blindfold on. When I do the Estes method, it's pretty intense for me. It starts to feel like I'm pulling out of my body. It's a very sensory thing that happens. And that spirit in particular had got up in my face and was yelling. And then I said, as I was starting to take the headphones off, I was knocking the headphones off, and she had run behind me and around the table, and we had the tripwire on the floor. And as I was saying, she's running behind me. She's running around the table. The lights were going off, and everyone could see that she was running around the table. And that's when I stopped. But that activity started before then. Like, it started before the seance. So it already felt sort of electric in the space. Yeah, Jody, you were here for that one. Jody's just sharing it was intense and very clear. And the minute she was helped, the space got lighter. It really did. Like, it felt lighter immediately as soon as we got her crossed over. Tanya is just asking, how do you know if a loved one has not crossed over? The energy, for me personally, when I'm working or tapping into it, the energy will feel thick. It will feel like trying to move through mud. It doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel as loving as it should. The messages sound like this. It will sound like muffled, or the teacher from Charlie Brown. The messages aren't flowing really fast. And again, 3, like, I'm thinking off the top of my head how many times I've done that. So in sessions twice, and in that seance once. So, like, in all that time, so really it's more rare for me to run into a spirit that feels stuck and is needing help crossing over. And I had that. I'm gonna see. Yep, there it is. I don't know if you guys hopefully you'll be able to see it. You can tell me if you're able to see what I see. Maybe not. Might have to post it. I think. No. I don't know if you can really tell. No. I don't think so. Maybe a little bit. Can you guys see? So this picture that I'm holding up is a Polaroid. And so this is the table, actually. So this table here is the table that we used for the table tipping. That's the bell. Oh, this is the bell that I use when I do my prayer, and then I ring the bell. I ask everyone to introduce themselves. I ask everyone to set their intention. Um, I'm open to you touching me. I'm open to using my energy, that sort of stuff. Um, there's a music box on the table. So the music box was going off, and then I snapped the Polaroid facing that direction where the table was, where the spirit box or the music box was going off. Um, yeah, it's not so much that it's foggy. I will try to scan it, and I will stick it on social media. I'll stick it on the Facebook page if you guys want to pop over there after. You can see this shadow, and there was no light source from behind. The room was dark. Everyone was seated at the table. Nobody was standing at the table, like standing up. And again, there was no light source. And you see a full shadow, like shoulders and a head, that's in front of the folding table where the bell is. And you can see through that shadow to the spirit box and the bell, which is, and it's great that it's on a Polaroid, because you can't do anything with that, right? You can't manipulate it in any way. And I'm not sure. I don't think that we got anything on, or I didn't have the camera aimed in the like the video camera aimed in the right direction with that one. But we've had a lot of really neat experiences with the seances at the house. Someone had come to the seance, and we started getting with the spirit box. It was no, how did we had the spirit board, the spirit box, and yeah, we were using the spirit board first. And it was weird because above the table, the ceiling started to look like a green swirl. And again, there was nothing on the floor. There was no candles like that were like the shining up onto the ceiling, but the ceiling started to move, and like this spot, and it was like a greenish glowing sort of color and moving, and then these kind of lights through it. And it wasn't a portal that was opening. It wasn't anything like that. But what was interesting, the spirit that we were connecting with, his name was Orion. He was interested in magic. He was interested in stuff that was, that sort of thing. And it looked like a galaxy had opened up above the seance table. It was great. It was good. And we couldn't, I don't think that any of the pictures turned out when we tried to take a picture of that, but it looked like a galaxy opened up above the seance table. And that his name was Ryan, and it looked like Orion, like a galaxy. It was a pretty, it was kind of a powerful experience. And I just kind of, that everything was all lined up, that he was kind of spelling his name, and that we had words coming through the spirit box, and then this thing that opened up above the table. Katessa's asking, my tattoos, are any of your tattoos sigils? So here's the interesting thing about, and I would encourage anybody, if you have tattoos, to do some research and understand what sigils are, and how you can create your own sigil, and how you can incorporate your sigil into your tattoos. So that's kind of a yes. There's some things within the tattoos that would be sigils and symbolic for me, for sure. Numbers, so there's repetitive numbers in there as well too. And again, personal stuff, like, and a lot of it around family and protection, for sure. How many babies I've had, losses and births, I love sigils too. Um, we've had sigils on, like, underneath our water faucet tap, on our Brita in the fridge. Sigils we've used, like, we put sigils on our walls and then painted over top of them. We've put sigils on the floor, underneath the little throw rugs. We've got sigils everywhere. Sigils on little pieces of mirror that are facing out in some of the windows. If we're gonna get real richy. Just some extra, keeping the space clear and clean, for the amount of work that I do from home, making sure that it's good for everybody. And like, if you, maybe we should do a show about sigils. We can do a show about sigils. I'll get my sister to come back on and we can talk about those sorts of things. My sister doesn't do it, but she'll be a riot to involve in the conversation. She's just, because she is funny that way, my sister. Heather is sharing, I use the sigil creation method that you taught me to make affirmations and gratitude intentions that I put on the trees that had come down for my new studio space. Oh, I love that, Heather. And it's fun when you understand how to create your own sigils. There's so much power, and then you put your intention, you ignite it, and you give it strength. It's amazing. Oh, thank you for reminding. Jackie is just sharing. If you are part of the porch group on Facebook, I did, all of the old videos are there. I did a video about how to do the pendulums. I've done videos on how to use a pendulum properly. All the tips and tools, and how it can go sideways, how your body's a battery, how it's charged, positive and negative sides. So all those videos are there on that Facebook group. And anybody is welcome to the group. I just encourage people, go with the intention, if you're joining the group, that you are there, that you're there to grow and learn and participate. Engagement is important, right? Like, it's a vulnerable space to grow and learn and ask questions, and to feel like people are there just to be a voyeur makes it uncomfortable for those people who are wanting to ask questions to learn and grow. Contessa's just saying, I too have many tattoos, all personal meanings, but now I want to incorporate some sigils of my own as well too. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Contessa. Oh, Julie, I'm really sorry but you can watch the replay after. So Julie Krause, spiritual advisor, she's also been on Spirit Switchboard, and you can watch or listen to her archive segment on SoundCloud. And Julie also has a support group, a spiritual teaching, mentoring group. If you go to her website, it's there. She's also on Instagram and Facebook. She does videos as well too, and she does have a class that is coming up, or a workshop regarding intuition, spirituality, and eating disorders, something that doesn't necessarily get talked about enough, I think, or understood. So she has that coming up as well too, if you want to participate or check that out. Thank you, Julie. I like chatting with you too. And you're welcome. You're welcome. That's what it's about, right? For all of us to create a community and supporting one another. So thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks for all the great questions that you guys asked. You guys make this very special. I'm very grateful and appreciative. Tammy, I see you, Tammy. Oh, hi, Tammy Johnson. Thank you for being here. Um, so I have in the past, and I think that I needed to take Contessa's just asking, would you ever consider doing a live event online? And I will be completely honest. I was doing like Tuesday talks. I would share messages every once in a while. And then there was just so much about like in June of last year, I really did have a not good uh, time with the amount of people that were creating fake profiles, pretending to be me, people coming in during the chat, after the chat was done, trying to scam people. It was awful trying to stay on top of it, and it was just tossing my anxiety to a not good place. So I had to step away from doing a lot of that. um, I think doing a live event online, I would have to do it through like Google Meet or Zoom and have it controlled where that stuff can't happen. Because it was not just even like a little bit, it was overwhelmingly horrible. And people, I think once I saw like people thought that I personally was um messaging them and they were sending their money and they were not being tech savvy, even though I was trying to warn people. Once I saw people were losing money, then I really felt responsible. And I know that I'm not responsible. And I know that it wasn't my fault, but I still feel bad for them. So that's sort of when I changed things. Joanna is sharing that's a shame because I love the Tuesday talks. I did too, and it's been there's an inkling of maybe switching it up. Somebody suggested that I do coffee with Carrie Lynn, and so maybe we'll do morning coffee, and I'm just trying to get that. And there's a bunch of things kind of coming in the works. Julie, I would love that. Where did Julie is saying we should pair up sometime and do one online. I think I would love to do that. I think that would be a lot of fun. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me. Thank you to the wonderful UPRN, the United Public Radio Network, and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Next week on the show, I have fellow UPRN host. He is sensitive, paranormal investigator Sean Kelly. His show is Into the Night. It is on Sunday evenings and Tuesday evenings. He is going to be coming on and having a chit chat with me. So I hope you guys join us next week in the chat and bring all your questions for Sean as well too. And if you hang out a little bit longer on the UPRN network, the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, Jeffrey Pritchett, so sorry, Jeffrey. Jeffrey Pritchett is on next with Church of Mavis, and that's a great show. So remember, all of the shows are on the archives through SoundCloud. You can find them there. And thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you again next week.